So you're feeling pretty good about this. You think you've got this. So you're getting your cross first. Proving once again that I am not a speed cuber. This comes up here and across. And now putting our corners in. But bear in mind, looming large is the possibility, the fact that I was doing equivalencies of pieces, which means parity is not out of the question. Turn and turn. Alright, so first layer is done. Second layer is next. I assume 3x3 knowledge. This will move here. UI, LI, U, L, U, F, UI, FI, pops that in there. This will go here. UR, UI, RI, UI, FI, UF, pops that in there. And this is all twisted around. But we've got this guy here that we can put in. Turn, and let's move this guy out. Wheel him around, and we're going to pop this into here. Turn, turn, and turn. Okay, so now we're ready for the last layer, and oh, we've got a little bit of a problem. We have parity. You're not supposed to have one out. So let's rotate all the rest in, F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I. This represents an impossibility for a 3x3. You're not supposed to have one rotated out. So why did this happen, and how do we get out of it? Well, the reason why this is flipped is because something else is flipped. You can see all the edges are where they need to be, but these centers have really their own attributes that make them that give them characteristics of edges also. So if I take this, if I flip this around, then I can flip this around. So when you're in this situation, all you've got to do is go ahead and do 45 degrees. And now I'm going to use this as an edge. I'm going to bring it up here and then bring it back around and flip it around over here. By flipping this, we'll be able to have two that are flipped in the wrong position, or all of them flipped in the right position. So when you see this, move it in a 45 degree, take one of your centers, use it as an edge, and bring it up here by going U, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, UF. Now swing this edge center slash corner around, and I'll bring this back down here, but it's going to be flipped around. So this came from the attribute of the mix-up characteristic of this. So we're going to move this back down, and what you find is this is now flipped correct. Why? Because you flipped this one as well. So now we just go ahead and continue our 3x3 solve. I see this is in and this is in. These are not, so I'm going to SUNY it. R, U, RI, U, R, 2U, RI. That puts this in, this in, this in, and this in. Which corner is in? None of them yet. So we'll just do ourselves a random corner swap. Do whatever 3x3 technique you know. So this is correct. And we're seeing that there's something of a problem because this is correct. And this is correct, but these aren't. So here's another way of showing this. R-I-D-I-R-D, R-I-D-I-R-D. Move this here. D-I-R-D, R-I-D-I-R-D, R-I-D-I-R-D, R-I-D-I-R-D. Okay. If you move this in, you see this is in and this is in, but we've got two that are out. Now your two corners may be next to each other that are out, or they may be across. So it might seem like they have to be swapped, or this has to be swapped, but you can't have one swapped corner. So this represents another sun, moon, or however you pronounce it, parity. So where does this come from and how do we get out of it? Well, this is actually not, there's no such thing as a corner parity. You're not going to get parity of corners. The parity lies within the edges, and it has to be edges and center parities because those are the only things that have to be reduced and exchanged. So here's what I'd recommend doing, just to show this for what it is, just solve the corners. So these corners are obviously not solved. I'm going to want to do a corner swap in order to get them in place. 2R U, 2R UI, 2R UID, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. Okay, these two corners are in. So I'm going to swap these two corners. 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R, UID, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. So I'm just solving for the corners. When you do that, we can try to solve for the edges. So let's see, we can do an adjacent edge swap here. 2RU, 2RU, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R. So this is in. Move this over here because we made misplacement here. Let's swap these two. 2RU, 2RU, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. I'm just doing an adjacent edge swap and boom. Okay, are we good? No, we're not, because these two are out, and that's the true parity of this puzzle. It was never a corner swapping parity. There's no such thing. It's actually an edge swapping parity. Because you know, if I try to swap these two, that's all well and good, but I'm going to cause misplacement here. So what do we do about this? Well, a while ago when I did the mix-up cube tutorial, we came about exactly the same thing. And this has to do with the fact that if I look at this as a single swap, that can't work. But if I look at these centers as being able to swap, it actually can work. Because what if I took these centers and rotated each of these by 90 degrees, keeping these edges exactly where they are? So how many swaps would that take? Well, let's say I swap these over here, so the white one is here. The yellow one is here, but I got to get the yellow one over here. So do this, that's one swap, rather the orange one over here. So do this, that's one swap, the white one will be here, the orange is here. I'll swap this over here, that's two swaps, now the orange is here. Then I swap it again, where the orange becomes over here, and that's going to be three swaps. So I can cause a 90-degree rotation of all these in three swaps, which renders this my fourth swap. Which means it's very possible to get this back by doing the right pattern of swaps of these centers. So that's where that comes from. And the way that I did this, to get this in, is I would hold it to the two that have to be swapped to the right top and the right back. So the right up layer and the right back layer. And I'd simply do this commutator. I do RI-U, R-UI, then I do a 45-degree turn of this equatorial, of this middle layer, rather, like that. And then I undo that commutator, which will be U, RI, UI, R. Then I move this back once more, so that makes this flat. Now I go ahead and do that again. RI, U, R, UI, rotate it 90 degrees. Then I do U, RI, UI, R, rotate it 90 degrees. I'm sorry, 45 degrees, not 90, 45 degrees. That brings us flat again. Now I've done that 2 times. I did that once, twice. This will be my third time. I'm going to do it a total of 5 times. So that's going to be RI, UI, R, U, 45-degree turn, then U, RI, UI, R, 45-degree turn. Okay, that's 3 times. Let's do it our 4th time. RI, U, R, UI, 45 degrees, U, RI, UI, R, 45 degrees. Okay? Now we're going to do it one more time, the 5th time, and now we're going to be slicing into the edges that were the parity to begin with. RI, U, R, UI, 45 degrees, and finish it off with U, RI, UI, R. And that's it. And you're going to find that these are now flipped back, and these centers were also flipped. If this were a mix-up cube, we'd be done. But here's the problem. This puzzle has extra pieces, these guys over here. So we did shift the centers off, but these flat portions of the centers did not get shifted. They stay the same. So you can see that it took care of the parity, but if I hold it over here, these flat areas were where the centers were. Green was here, white was here, blue was here. And you can see that what I did is I took everything, the white center was here, and I moved them 45 degrees, well actually, yeah, 45 degrees counterclockwise. So this was a 45 degree counterclockwise. I think I said before it was 90 degrees, but it's actually 45 degrees counterclockwise. But unlike the mix-up cube, these are stuck over here. So now how do I get out of this? Well, I can't go by this as the center position. This has to be the one that says where the center is. So what I need to do is I need to design a way to get these and flatten them where they're supposed to be. Well, I'm not going to be able to move them in this configuration, so I actually have to move it like this. I've got to move the puzzle like this, because unless I do that, I'm not going to be able to move my pieces here. It's going to be bandaged. So I can move it like this, but it's going to be very difficult to move these and to flatten them. So they have to be in this position. And ultimately what I want to do is I want to take my two centers that are correct, these two, protect them, and I have to start moving these into the proper position with these centers so that they're flat. Once they're flat, then I can start shuttling them around to the proper center, and that part's going to be easy. First I've got to flatten them, so how am I going to do that? Well, first let's put this over to here. I'm going to take this center over here, this flattened, well, hopefully flattened center, and I'm going to move it up like this. So I basically did a 90-degree turn to move this up. These centers here have to be protected. Okay, so they can't be a problem, but those that are attached to this edge, they have to be angled, not flat. So I have to angulate the centers here. So I'm going to move this 45 degrees here and 45 degrees here. This is going to be off to the side, and what I need to do is I need to take these central areas here, and I've got to take the angulated portions and move them up here, and I've got to move the flat portions down here. Next to, you can see that this center over here, this has to be next to a flat area, not an angulated area. So here's how that's going to work. I'm going to move this with a U, and I'm going to exchange this with one of these guys. So to exchange it, and by the way, it doesn't matter if you do a partial mix-up, partial scramble. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to direct it down to here, remembering to move it back when you're done, but it should be easy to visualize. And what I'm going to do is orchestrate an exchange between this piece and this piece. This will be angulated, and this will be flat right next to the center. And the way that this is going to work, now before when I would exchange it, I would exchange it with these two, but I want to keep an edge piece up here. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to move this up. Okay, so that's going to be a, I guess you call that an M move. 2R, move it down with an MI move. Do another, I'm sorry, 2U, not 2R. Sorry about that. Then move it up again, do a 2U, and then move it down again with a 2U. The reason that I did that is because I want this edge still up here. You can see this is flattened over here, just like we wanted, and I simply move this back. Boom. Now having done that, I'm now going to move this here. I have to move this guy up. This is angulated, we like that. So I'm going to move this to this side over here. Now I've got to exchange this with this flat piece over here. So I'm going to move it down over here so it can be next to it. And I'm going to take this M slice and we're going to move it down to with a, I'm sorry, we're going to move it up as a MI, then a 2U, then an M. 2U, got to do an MI, 2U, and an M, and a 2U. Okay, this is over here. Now it's easy to see that this orange meets this over here, and bang. So now this is fine over here. Okay, I'm going to just move this here twice because that's what got that into that mess. Now, these are fine. These are not angulated, so I'm going to turn this upside down and I'm going to use these pieces to swap with this so that these angulated pieces will be up here and the flat pieces will be flat next to these centers over here. So same kind of thing, I'm going to move this down and we're going to do a MI, to U, M to U. Mi to U, and an M to U. Okay, this is going to come back to here. So we've got this angulated up. Now we just have to do this one. So I'm going to move this in this position over here, deconstruct this down to here, and make my exchange from these two. So Mi, rather I did an M, don't want to do that. So we have Mi to U, M to U. Mi to U, and an M and a 2U, and this gets brought back to here. Okay, now that I've done that, this puzzle has actually been, we'll move this back over to here, this puzzle has actually just been reconfigured. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these centers and move them back where they belong. Now I started over here, you can do the same thing. So by moving this in this position, this in this position here, I'm now going to take this and I'm matching these edges here, and I'm going to move it down like so, boom. Now you can see that all of these are flat, so just to get perspective, we flattened what we needed to flatten next to these centers, we angulated what we needed to angulate next to this edge, right? So now we bring this down. So all centers have been flattened and this has all been angulated, and now we just move this back. Boom. So you can see I tried to minimize the amount of destruction, but the last thing that we have to do is we have to now match our centers up. These are all where they're supposed to be except for these guys. Do this in whichever way makes the most sense to you, but if we were to try to put this in, let's say I want to match this blue to here and put this orange in. So I'm going to move this over to here. So I'm just going to take these two and exchange this to here. Boom, this comes over to here. Okay, now I'm going to bear in mind what I did my two R's with. I'm going to move this over to here. I'm going to take this stripe and move it back to here. And now I'm going to take this here and move this into this position here. Splat. Okay. So this is in, and because I moved this, I'm just going to move these two over here. Okay, so this is in, and that's good. I'm going to go ahead and put a yellow in. Put one of these yellows in, and the way that that's going to work is I'm going to go like, well, I could put both greens in, but these guys are going to be out. So maybe I should work on the white. Nah, all right. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. So let's go ahead and move this over to here. I've got this green here. I'm going to take this green stripe, move it to here, and then move this back like so. Okay. All right, so I got the green and I got the blue. Unfortunately, these are out, so I kind of have to deal with that anyway. So I'm going to move this like so. Okay, I'm moving this white stripe here, and I've got to coordinate it with this. And the way that that's going to work, just remember the green has to go here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move the white into here, double turn, and let's move the white back. So now this white is in here. Now all I've got to do is take this green and move it back into here. If you get lost with this part, don't worry, the parity's been taken out and splat. Okay, so now the parity's been taken out. You see my top and my bottom are solved. Just these edges have to be placed. So you can just make it easy on yourself and bring these up and bring them back down. All right, so let's take this and move it up. U-R, U-I-R-I, U-I, turn and turn. Okay, so now this is going to come down to here. So basically you're just doing a 3x3 solve, and I'm picking it up from the middle part. This will come down here. Turn, 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 and turn. And now this will come down to here. Turn and turn. And finally, I think, oh, this is just the wrong side. And turn. turn, wheel this around, and this will come down to here. And boom. Okay, so we've got our line, F-R-U, R-I-U-I, F-I. And basically what you're going to find is the parity should have been taken out. We're good here, R-U, R-I-U, R-to-U, R-I. This comes to here. And are any of these in as of yet? This one is U, R, U-I, L-I, U, R-I, U-I-L. I'm just doing a 3x3 solve, so this is in, and all the rest should be in, and as you can see that they are. So it's really just a matter of R-I-D-I-R-D'ing it into submission. D-I-R-D, and finally the R-I-D-I-R-D, and done. So you've solved your sun-mum cube. It's a nice, challenging puzzle. It's a little bit beyond just a mix-up, just a couple of interesting parities to deal with, and just getting the centers in. The last step, when you have the mix-up parity, I guess you can call it, with the edge parity, you just have to bear in mind what you're trying to do. Match up angulated centers with your edge and flat centers with the center, and you should be able to get through it. So this is sort of kind of a sketch of the approach that you can take to solve it. And in any case, thanks for watching.